Two. All right, here we go. Happy Saturday to Knicks Nation, a special edition podcast. CP from KnicksFanTV, my man Jay Els from Nick of Time Show, and special guest joining us today. He covers the Westchester Knicks for Ridiculous Upside, a SB Nation product. Chris Pritchak. Chris, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us today, man. How's everything?
Doing well. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. So we wanted to come together today, obviously, because we got a couple nice prospects going in Westchester. The call-up window has been initiated. And one of these guys we definitely want to touch on is Kenny Wooten, man. There's been reports that several teams are interested in Kenny Wooten. What's been your, since covering the team, what's been your impressions of Kenny so far?
I mean, I'm sure you brought it up before. I believe Kenny is definitely someone who should be looked at as a 10-day call-up candidate. He definitely has so far made an impact on the defensive end. He's a top 2 shot blocker in the G League at the moment. I think he averages about 3.6 blocks per game. And he makes an impact in that way so easily. One of the more impressive stats about him, I believe he has 7 games this year so far of 5 or more blocks.
Wow.
And he surpassed the record previously from the previous top shot blocker, Jordan Bashinsky. He did 5 games of 5 or more blocks in 49 games. Kenny did that in about half that time. So you can tell he easily makes an impact on that end. And, I mean, his defensive impact, his shot blocking, the last game yesterday against the Lakeland Magic, he had 18 points. So he's making an impact all around, whether before it was early in the season coming off the bench. Yesterday, when he's in the starting lineup, he's one of those players where he could come in, if he earned a 10-day call tomorrow and he was on an NBA team, he would easily make an impact on the defensive end.
How about weaknesses? I mean, from your experience watching the team, or your conversations with the coaches or Kenny, where do you see him needing to improve? In what areas?
Well, a lot of people always point that he needs to take more jumpers. I mean, most of his attempts on the offensive end usually come within 5 feet or more, but you've seen him take more shots outside of that area. And he did that more yesterday. He did it more early in the year against the Delaware Bluecoats. So, I mean, he's averaging about 7.4 points per game, shooting close to 65% from the field.
Okay.
So he's still doing something on the offensive end, but more people would probably want to see him do a little bit more.
So what is his range? Is it like 3-point line, or is it? I'm guessing it's more like a mid range. When he was with the Knicks in the summer league, I didn't really see him take any jump shots. So I'm curious.
Yeah.
They're probably just extending his range a little bit more. Like maybe 3-point is not really necessary because he makes so much of an impact on the defensive end, but just a little bit more outside of that 5 feet or under area.
So it's 5 feet under. Anything 15 feet? 15.
Yeah.
How about his on-ball defense? A lot of the block shots, come, protecting the rim and kind of, help defense. What about one-on-one defense? What have you seen from him this season so far?
Well, he from what I've seen, like a little bit, he does work well off screens, keeping defenders out. There was a play in yesterday's game. I forgot what quarter it was in, but one of the offensive players for Lakeland towards the end of the shot clock was thinking about going baseline into the basket, but Kenny's presence right there kind of got him to pull back a little. So just him having that presence on the defensive end got the player to come back, and then he didn't have really much time to make that additional play before the shot clock really finished. So I mean, not really from a shot blocking perspective, but when he's still down low and having that presence on the interior defense, he can get a player to really stop in their tracks and either make a play, or in that case, a shot clock violation was really called.
Okay.
Nice. Lamar Peters, another guy. He was with the summer league team along with Kenny Wooten out of Mississippi State. point guard. Couple games ago against the Windy City Bulls had 10 franchise record, 10 3-pointers. What's your impressions of Lamar Peters thus far?
Well, Lamar Peters is really doing like a little bit of everything on the team. When it was earlier in the year when Kadeem was with the team, he could come off the second unit and he was one of the really main contributors off the bench. When he's playing with Kadeem, it gives them a second ball handler on the floor, and he can also play off the ball, which is really beneficial for the team when you see he has really made strides with his 3-point game.
Yeah, you could definitely see that, man. Because when I saw 2 games live of him in summer league, he didn't really shoot. He didn't really do too much offensively. Defensively, I did like his activity, but offensively, I didn't really see this much that we're seeing here in the G League.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that, like you mentioned, that he was 10 for 15 against Windy City. He was he was 7 of 14 yesterday. So that's one of the really biggest things that really has helped Westchester when Kadeem's not with the team, or when, in yesterday's case, when Ivan was out with an illness. To really have that person that you can kind of rely on scoring. In the past few games, he had 29 yesterday, 23 the game before, and against the Bulls, he had 31. So to really have that score when a team needs scoring like that, it really has helped the team.
Nice. And what about conversely weaknesses? What do you see out there, or based on your conversations with the coaches, or what do they think he needs to do to improve, to continue to improve?
One of the most things that you can point to, even going back to his time at Mississippi State, is turnovers.
Mm.
This year so far, he is averaging 3.7 turnovers per game.
Oof.
And when you have that 6.7 to 3.7 assist to turnover ratio, I mean, that may not really be something that would really get the attention of, wouldn't be like a strong point. It's something that like cutting down on. But if you want to look at it in a positive way, yesterday he had 6 assists, and it was his first game without a turnover since November 22nd.
Sheesh.
So that's the main thing that you really want to see. Yeah, like I said, I mean, that's the main thing that you want to see, that you want to see him cut down on the turnovers, because you clearly see that the impact he's making as a scorer, as a 3-point shooter, being that, main distributor on the team. He had 6 assists yesterday, 11 the game before, 8 the game before. So you see that he's making an impact, but when he's not turning the ball over, it's really helping Westchester.
Question. Your starting point guard, if you had to choose between Lamar Peters and Kadeem Allen, who would you roll with?
It's a good question. Are you talking about on Westchester or with New York?
I mean, either or. Like, okay, we'll start with Westchester right now.
I go with Kadeem.
Okay.
And it's nothing really against Lamar, because both of them are really great players. Just with Kadeem, what he brings as a scorer, as a distributor, as a defender. I mean, he's shown it for, I think, the past 2 years, where he was on the G League defensive team.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, like, it's something that he's done year after year, and Lamar's in his first year. I know he's made an impact. He can be a pest on the defensive end, and he'll definitely get his chance in the NBA. But with your question, I would go with Kadeem.
More because of his defensive impact, more
Yes.
than anything. Because
Interesting.
He's a big guard. Interesting. So
Interesting.
you feel like down the line, Lamar Peters' offensive impact will make up for that, or is it too early to tell? Or
if you want, we could definitely revisit the question later on.
Okay.
But at this point, I would go with Kadeem.
Interesting. So now we have the call-up period started January 5th. We have 2 guys that some of the fan base are interested in seeing on this roster, especially Kenny Wooten. But what options do the Knicks have in terms of bringing these guys up? Are these guys just available to all 30 teams to be signed to a 10-day contract? What options do the Knicks have here?
Well, at the moment, any player on Westchester not named Kadeem Allen or Ivan Rabb are free agents, which means that any NBA team with a open roster spot can sign any of the players, including Kenny and Lamar, who you mentioned that I'm sure almost any team would want one of those players. And any team with the open two-way spot can sign him as well. I believe at the moment, the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors have an open two-way spot. So since the guaranteed spot for the two-way contract is January 15th, they could spend half of that 45 days with the NBA team, but also still develop them in their G League affiliate.
So as of now, Ivan is holding that spot. Would you swap out Kenny for
Yeah,
Ivan?
well, I mean, the question is why. You may not know the answer to this, Chris, but why did they give Ivan Robb the two-way over Kenny? I mean, I know Ivan Robb played in Memphis for a second under Fizz, but to me, Kenny was the way to go with the two-way contract. Now they're at risk of losing him.
Yeah, that I'm not really too sure about. But when it comes to that, the two players that you mentioned, I believe that, they definitely, it seems like that they would want to give Ivan a chance at the NBA level. Early in the year, he had, I believe, a concussion, so kind of took him out a little bit, and then getting him adjusted to the system, because I think he joined the G League team. He joined the team in general about a week before G League training camp opened. So to give him some time to really get adjusted, and then he'll get his chance later on in the season.
Interesting. So even if they wanted to say, put Kevin Knox in the G League, Dennis Smith Jr., it still wouldn't be enough because they would have to actually sign these guys to a contract with the main squad.
Yes,
either a two-way or a regular contract.
Yes, the two players that you mentioned are under NBA contracts.
Right.
I believe the Knicks have all 17 roster spots filled.
Yeah, it's all filled.
So they would have to either waive or trade one of the players to open a spot to sign one of the players to a 10-day contract.
Okay. All right, JL. So it sounds like Kenny Wooten's the next member of the Golden State Warriors.
I don't know, man. Hey, Ellington, bye.
Yeah, right. Cut Ellington, please, man.
Hey. Good job shooting 30% from the field. Yeah. We got a guy.
Get him out of here, man. We need Kenny in here.
Let's bring him up.
Yeah, man. Chris, who else do you like in terms of talent in Westchester? Who else has caught your eye?
Before I answer that question, I mean, one positive thing that should come to with some of these players that could earn a call-up is that I believe in the previous two seasons before this year, most of their call-ups have come from their G League team. So it seems like they're really investing in developing those players and then giving them an opportunity with the big team.
Yeah. It's
not really a guarantee of, Lamar or Kenny will be with the New York Knicks, but it seems like that they really are invested in developing those players. So
right, and not to cut you off, but just to elaborate on that. So we have obviously Allen Houston being the general manager. As you said, Derek Alston is now the coach, taking over for Mike Miller, who also brought up Keith Bogans from there. And then you also have Lisa Willis as the assistant coach. So that's kind of the infrastructure that we're working with there in Westchester, right?
Yes, and I mean, each one of these coaches, the ones that you mentioned, they are helping push these players to the next level, because I'm sure you've seen with Lisa C. Willis that she really made an impact with her shooting, and that's one of the things that she's helping some of these players with at this stage.
Some of these I was kind of thinking in general, like, it seems like the Knicks G League has been so good at developing players that maybe the Knicks should investigate bringing more of those guys up to work with the actual team, because like you said, we've seen Dennis Smith Jr. struggle with his shot all year. You would like to see RJ kind of take that next step. I would love to see some of these people kind of, form a team here with New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Big boy team.
No, I agree. I mean, I was before Mike Miller joined the team, I was one of the people that had a feeling that he would make that jump to the next level as an assistant coach. So it seems like they, especially with Mike Miller, he's one of the people that a lot of his players really got behind, and he really helped push them when he was with the team for those 4 years.
Interesting, man. Real interesting. And Mike Vorkanoff of The Athletic wrote a real good article on Mike Miller and just his road to the New York Knicks. Is a real good read if you haven't caught that already. Yeah. So who else on the roster has really caught your eye?
One of the other players that I mentioned in the previous piece was Andrew White III. At the beginning of the year, I mean, I know it's kind of early when you look at 3 or 4 games because it's really a small sample size in November. But he was one of those players that could, if he can put more of a stretch of like not really what he had before, because when you put up a few 30-point games and you're shooting like 75% from 3, I mean, maybe that's hard to keep continuing. But when you see him like put together games where he's a 14, a 20, 11, a few double-digit games like he did in the past month, I mean, that's something that you really want to see. And the thing with him is that he has that NBA experience. Okay. In his rookie year, he had a call-up to the Atlanta Hawks. He has like the experience from the NBA. He has experience from his time in college. You know that he can really get it going, but you just want to see him have that consistency where he's having double-digit games, where he's shooting 3 of 6 or 4 of 7, whatever the case may be, and make that impact right there.
I would hope so, man. We had John Jenkins here last year, and he kind of had like that similar thing where he's like, oh, he can shoot threes, and he got here. And he had a couple of good games, but he never really stuck. You know what I mean?
We could definitely use some 3-point shooting, man. For sure. How about Iggy? Iggy's been a second-round pick of the main squad. He's been back and forth in Westchester, putting up some big numbers. What's been your impressions of Iggy?
I mean, one thing that I have liked the most is how he's really aggressive to really get in and finish at the basket. He's averaging a little bit under 20 points per game through 11 games. He's really working the glass. He's a willing he goes after rebounds. So when you see like those two things, I mean, it's two things that he's doing in Westchester. I mean, when you look at about 32.1% from 3, maybe that's not the best thing that you want to look at. But when you still see that he's most importantly getting the minutes that he's not necessarily getting with the New York Knicks, that's really the most important thing. And, I mean, I know it's 2 different players, but if you want to use the comparison of Damian Dotson, he didn't get much playing time in his rookie year. Now he's getting more playing time now. So maybe that's kind of what you want to see from Iggy, where he's getting more time in Westchester. He's kind of getting adjusted to the pro game. And then maybe next year, or like the Damian Dotson thing, where he's getting more playing time later on.
Yeah. Sounds like Kevin Knox could use the same treatment, JLs.
Yeah. The shooting coach we have down there.
Yeah, let's get Kev that shooting coach, that good shooting coach therapy, man. All right, well, hey, that's the Westchester report, man. So basically, you have a couple teams with 2-way slots open. You have the Phoenix Suns, you have the Golden State Warriors. These guys, Lamar Peters, Kenny Wooten, they're all available to be had. So Scott Perry, Steve Mills, you guys got to get on the ball, man.
Please.
Kenny's as good as going, man. I'm telling you right now, JLs. Kenny is as good as going.
I know, man. I'm worried about these guys, man. They're scared to lose their job. They want to go get vets now.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Andre Drummond, God forbid. Damn. Tough, man.
Also,
yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Also, keep in mind, January 15th is that last day that teams can sign players to a 2-way contract. So if you really think that even like a player like Kenny will get signed, I mean, he may not. The Knicks really may lose out on a player like him.
Yeah.
So you really have that short amount of time. If the Knicks really want to keep him, they have to, make a trade or do something within 4 days. So it's not really that much of a time frame to really see much.
You got 4 days, man.
Yeah,
4 days.
That's why Wayne Ellington was playing so much, CP. They was trying to make that trade.
Yeah, man.
He's not helping us at all.
They're trying to get out of there, man. All right, cool, man. Well, salute to everybody in the chat once again. Salute to everybody watching. Want to salute Alex Collins checking in. Anthony Calamari, what's going on, Anthony? Ops, what's good? Q. Samir's in here. Metaphysical Logic, what's going on? We got Sean Brown, Keith Sinclair, what's going on? Yeah, man. Thanks everybody for joining. No calls today. We just want to do this quick call. We definitely appreciate Chris for coming on. What were you saying, JLs?
Thank you.
I'm gonna shout my chat to my
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
My fake cousin Winston Ellis in here.
And Winston goes your fake cousin.
Shout out to KR. Shout out to Hinton Murphy. My guy Fritz is doing the videos for me now. KOT show. Shout out to my guy Iverson Vlogs. John Talento is in here.
John Talento's always in here.
Pocket Rockets. Shout out to the crew.
Yeah, man. Chris, before you go, just let everybody know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, sure. I'm on Twitter at Chris Priczak, ChrisPriczak. Also at Ridiculous Upside. Outside of Westchester Knicks coverage, the whole team at Ridiculous Upside, they do a lot of coverage on G League, on high school basketball. There's a lot of really good stuff there. The G League is really prospering. So it's definitely really something that people should check out, especially at this time where they'll give you good coverage on players that will earn a 10-day contract.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Chris, thanks again. Don't close the Zoom. Don't close the Zoom chat just yet. JL's, go ahead and sign out, bro.
Oh yeah, you know the deal, man. All pods on the Time Show. Catch the latest pod with me and Alex Wolf and those guys on youtube.com/TicketTimeShow. It's up right now. Also, you can check us on every type of podcast media, that is iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, all that noise. Also, you can check out the merch. See Muhammad, the Maple Mile Mentality. Sure, you can cop that at TicketTimeShow.com as well. Also, follow me on all social media, Twitter, the KLT Show, Instagram, the Nick of Time Show, and Facebook as well. That is all. Back to you, CP.
Yes, sir. And thanks you guys for joining, man. Chris, J. Ellis, everybody in the chat. Happy Saturday. Beautiful day in New York. Hope it's beautiful wherever you guys are at, man. Get out, do something productive, have a good time. Maybe watch a little football later. But salutes everybody for joining us. You just heard Chris Priczak from Ridiculous Upside. Just come on, give us a little taste of what's going on in Westchester. And hey, basically January 15th is the last of the two-way contract. So we'll see if we can hold on to Kenny, maybe Lamar Peters, or maybe these guys are as good as gone. So let's see what's going on. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Hit that thumbs up button. Very important to support the show. Share these videos. Text your friend, a Knicks fan, a basketball fan. Let him know about Kenny. He's on the way out. He might be on the way out. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. This show will be available in audio podcast format. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Alexa, all on the KnicksFanTV. And get your merch in the links below as well, man. So once again, this was just a quick one. Tomorrow night, Knicks versus Heat. Miami Heat coming in. So we got a matinee Knicks 3:30 game, man. So I'll be back here. And JLs, you catch it tomorrow night show?
Tomorrow, wait.
It starts at 3:30.
Oh, damn, I don't think I'm going to catch it because it's 3:30 to the...
All right. All good. See if Alex Wolf will join us. But yeah, man, anyway, appreciate you guys for joining us. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Peace.